During this lecture, we will study risk analysis, and we will see a very useful framework like bow-tie diagram. Risk analysis, it is the third element of risk management process. You should make it after the risk identification, when you have prepared the initial risk register and have the list of risks that were identified during the interview with expert. Risk analysis is connected with more deeply analysis of each risks. So risk analysis contributes to the understanding of each risks, its causes that are called usually risk factors, and consequences, what will happen if the risk will occur. And during risk analysis, you should understand the sources of risks and the consequences of risks. It will be very important for the future assessment. And also risk analysis can help to understand if the risk that you have identified before is the risk that you need to analyze, or it's just a risk factor and it is very small and uncomparable with other risks. What you should know, that every risk have risk factors. It is the causes, the sources of risks that can be external and internal, and you can manage them or you cannot manage them. So they have different nature. And also each risk have the consequences. It is something that can happen if the risk will occur. So it is the effect of risk realization. In most cases, the consequences, it is some financial consequences, financial losses, some losses and unachievement of KPIs, the budgeting losses and unachievement. They have also some problems, but it is not the risk, it is the consequences of the risks. And the risk factors, it is the sources that can make our risk occur. And the example, it is our process descriptions, it is our internal infrastructure, it is some macroeconomical activities that you cannot manage. So they will be our risk factors. And the very useful framework for providing risk analysis, it is a bow-tie diagram. Now you can see it on your slide. It is very useful graphical depiction of pathways from the causes, risk factors of the risk to its consequences in a simple, very understandable diagram. It is called because it looks like the element of clauses for men, and it is simple combination of such toolset, four trees that analyzes the causes of the event on the left side of the diagram. And the event trees, maybe you also know this tool, it is the right hand of bow-tie diagram. And the knot of this bow-tie diagram, it is our risk for which we are making the analysis. And on this diagram, you can also see some controls and preventive controls and corrective controls that can help risk not to occur. This bow-tie diagram helps us to understand which controls do we have nowadays. So bow-tie diagram allows to determine where the control procedures are created, for which risk factors or for which consequences. The focus of bow-tie analysis is on the barriers or controls depicted in the left-hand side of the knot that can change the likelihood of the event of risks, or also on the controls on the right hand of the diagram that can change its consequences. So this diagram is also very helpful, not for only analyzing the risk, but also for providing the analysis of risk control procedures. And I think it is one of the primary uses of this diagram, the identification of control gaps where some additional controls may be created, examining some causes, consequences, and the existing controls that should help us to identify the gaps in our current position. And during the next lecture, we will have some example of this analysis with the help of bow tie diagram.